What I'm doing today is not just preaching a message. I want you to try to get into the Word, get something out of the Word. Who is God and what is His will for your life? In this passage, it talks about plainly that don't worry about or set your heart on the, eat and drink seems to be like a thing that is sort of important, isn't it? If you don't eat or drink, what's eventually going to happen to you? Yeah, I mean, eating and drinking, isn't that the first thing that God, when He led the children of Israel in the wilderness? That all of a sudden they didn't have anything to eat or drink. They didn't have water. And what did they do? They moaned and groaned. Moses, you led us out here to die. We want to go back. What would it mean to depend on God? Seek His kingdom. God says, your Father knows that you need them. He knows everything. God knows everything. He knows all. He knows all about you. He knows what your real needs are.
That's right.
And what's He saying? His will is to seek the kingdom. Seek His kingdom. But I think we're interested in our kingdoms. I think that's the problem. We have a kingdom issue. We have a king. I think, I saw that many years ago, that one of the biggest problems we have is a kingdom issue. Whose kingdom are we working for? Seek His kingdom. And then when He says, and these things will be given to you as well. Everything in my kingdom will be given. But everything you need will be given to you. Do we believe that? Heavenly Father knows what you need. Your Father is pleased to give you the kingdom. Man, He wants to give you a brand new life, a brand new kingdom. We're interested in shoring up our kingdom and our life and how it's going, what our future looks like, how things are going to go. What do you think, old Glenda? How do you think about that? Are you doing that? Is it about your kingdom or about His kingdom?
A lot of times it's about my kingdom.
Thy kingdom come, my kingdom go. And then he says, one of the problems is of you a little faith. There's that doubting thing again. It's right in the middle of everything. We don't believe this. Could it be that we've heard these messages, these scriptures for so long that we're inoculated from the truth? We don't hear the truth. We just don't really know are we hearing stuff? He says, I take care of I took care of Solomon. I clothed the grass in the field. I'm going to clothe you. I'm going to take care of you. Trust me. He says, well, to trust Him.
Under character, I saw a provider in that one as well.
What now?
He's a provider.
A provider, absolutely. He's a provider. That's good. The one passage in Matthew of this same, it's in the Sermon on the Mount, he says, how much more valuable are you? God says you're valuable. I remember going back to that passage because sometimes I didn't think I had a whole lot of value. John 4, yet a time is coming and is now come when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. They're the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. It's His will that we would worship Him. Worship, fear, love, they're all kind of synonymous. Be careful not to do your acts of righteousness before men to be seen by them. If you do, you have no reward from your Father in heaven. So when you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and the streets to be honored by men. I tell you the truth, you have received their reward in full, but when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. There's that God knows everything. He sees what's done in the secret place. 24-hour surveillance. What do you think about that? We have a problem with 24-hour surveillance. What if you have someone watching you all the time? That's what's going on. This then is how you should pray, Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. His name is, what's His character? He's holy. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth. That's His will, is that His kingdom would come. Just as much on earth as it is in heaven. His kingdom. And they asked Him, what must we do to do the works God requires? What is your will, Lord? The work of God is this, to believe. That's the big battle. The big battle that we have in life is to believe. Is to fully believe. I think we partly believe. I think parts of us believe and parts of us don't believe. And then what does that do to someone if they're partly in it and partly not there?
Double-minded man, unstable in all his ways.
That's what happens. We become double-minded. Part of us are following God and part of us are doing our own thing. That's the issue. Alright, so what? We talked about these things, this and that and the other thing. So what? So what's the big deal? So what are you going to take out of it? So what? So get in a little group and just answer. So what's God talking about? So what is going on here? So what's the big deal? So what does this mean this week? So what am I to do with this? So where do I go from here? Get in a small group.